It was really nice being employed. My favorite, I think, overarching favorite thing about working on that show, I don't know if I have a specific favorite, but we had a lot of fun while we were shooting. It was the studio that made the show was Warner Brothers, and I think that we probably, over the course of the show, with our laughing and our pranks and our antics, probably cost the studio $3 or $4 million in overtime, where we just could have gotten the days done so much quicker and so much, and the crew hated it, but we loved just having fun. So we did a lot of laughing, and that was probably my favorite thing about actually working on the show. And I think also the fandom that has evolved from the show, the community that has evolved around it has been very gratifying as well. And my very favorite thing is having had the opportunity to meet you. Aww. Nice to meet you. Well, I don't know, it's hard to say. There were times that were very challenging to film on Supernatural for various different environmental reasons that were beyond my control. I'll give you for instance. There was an episode called My Bloody Valentine. I don't know how my brain just recalled that. And in the episode, Sam, Dean, and Cass go into a morgue, and there are organs sitting on the table. And Castiel, Sam and Dean are already standing around this table, and then Castiel approaches the table and says something, you know, like Castiel does, like, and we're shooting the scene, and I come in and I go, and Jarrett had picked up, the camera's on me at this point, not on Jarrett or Jensen. And he had picked up a broomstick and was fondling my testicles under the table with the tip of the broomstick. And it was a somber scene. So the acting choice that I was making, which was to giggle and laugh, didn't really feel like it fit. So then we did another take. The director is, of course, in the other room and doesn't see the broomstick and doesn't understand why I'm laughing. He just thinks I'm screwing up the scene. So we come in again. Jared does the little thing again. I laugh again. We come in. I do it again. This time I'm like this at the table, backing away, out of reach. But then Jared is making ridiculous faces at me, and I laugh again. And Jensen says, "Misha, why are you even looking at him? Just don't look at him, look at me." And I was like, "Thank you, there's an adult in the room." And so we do another take, and at this point, the director's like literally in the other room watching on the monitors, like, "Misha, come on, get it together." Sorry, so come in, I go, and I look at Jensen, and Jensen goes, so that was the environment, the work environment.
Thank you.
Thank you. I honestly don't know if I can do it. It takes some warming up, and it sounds like a goat is being slaughtered when I do. And I learned, I was able to log the hours necessary to learn that because I was extremely bored when I was in college, and just bound and determined to figure it out. For some reason, I was at this music store that had 4 Tibetan monks that were like sitting there doing this Tibetan throat singing. And I was like, that's so cool. Let me try that. And I was like, ah. And for some reason, I was just bound and determined to figure it out. So I did, and now I can do that and sound like a didgeridoo.
Well, thank you for learning it.
Yeah. I have no future, but thank you for inquiring. I think I'm going to be doing a travel food show with PBS. The current plan is to start shooting in like a week, so really soon. And I'm a little nervous and excited about it because it's quite
Me too.
freeform. You're nervous?
Right now.
Okay.
I'm sweating like a pig.
Is it related to my travel food show?
A little bit of everything.
Like, please, Misha, don't do that. It's going to be a train wreck. So I think the closest analog I can think of to the content is sort of like Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown, but it's going to be based just in the U.S. And I think part of what excites me about it is just exploring parts of the country that I wouldn't otherwise see, but also subcultures and cultures and communities that I wouldn't otherwise like that a rich white college educated guy wouldn't normally be introduced to. So
right.
It's sort of part ethnography, part just like trying to literally sit down and break bread with people that you wouldn't otherwise, that I wouldn't otherwise get to know.
Right.
And bringing along with me the public television audience, which is, I don't know if you know what public television is, but it's for people who are over 90. Yeah.
This was
Early on with the show, I thought we talked a lot about, representation and wanting to make sure specifically that Carthage, Kansas was.
Carthage,
Missouri, whatever.
Anyways,
I almost got pelted by tomatoes just now.
but now that you're going to be doing your food show,
Right.
I was going to give you a suggestion for an interesting food place that you should travel to.
Okay.
So in Pittsburgh, Kansas, they have Chicken Mary's and Chicken Annie's, which are 2 rival chicken places based off of a set of sisters who tried to make chicken in the early 1900s and sold that chicken to minors. So it's a huge rivalry.
Selling chicken to minors? That's what. The scandal.
The other kind of minors. Lead and
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So I was just going to give that suggestion to you to...
I'm not doing anything creepy with chicken and minors. No.
And you should also visit Carthage, Missouri and see the courthouse and just travel. I take Jensen and
The other one.
the other one. And actually visit some of those towns that, Super Metro mentions in their show.
Yep.
And also, how did the
Can I
writers
just point out one really a ridiculous inconsistency in the show? First of all, the Midwest is huge.
Yes.
Right? And they're always just hopping in the car.
Yeah, it's gonna take...
We're gonna go to Carthage, whatever state, and we're going to, and it's gonna, it's a 3-day drive. And they're in a 1967 Impala. First of all, the fuel economy is horrible. The carbon footprint of those fuckers,
So,
It's awful.
did you
But
ever...
also, a 1967, but that's a 50-year-old vehicle, right? It's not going to make it on a 3-day drive. It's simply not going to happen. They should have a Honda Civic. Right?
So, in the
What?
show...
A Corolla, Okay, well, the Toyota reps are here. I know that, the show creator, Eric Kripke, is from Ohio, and he did like sort of heartland America. He wanted that to be sort of the cornerstone of the geography of the show. And he had the authority to do that because he was the executive producer and showrunner and writer. So he could just go ahead and say, we're gonna do Carthage, Missouri. But I think that he wanted to encapsulate, I think, like the quintessential Heartland America in the show, which is part of its appeal, I think. You know, it's not a show about the coastal elites so much. And the boys never ventured to Hawaii. And they went to Canada once. And we were in the Midwest all the time, and yet the show was completely covered in moss and huge pine trees.
Yes.
You're doing some weird gesture with your watch. You're showing off that you have a watch. That's not a watch, it's a bracelet. You're tapping your bracelet. You have a shiny bracelet. This seems to me that you are trying to convey that it is time for me to wrap it up. We have wasted enough of your time, and I will take one more question, hopefully the best question. Some things I still can't tell you. More shameless self-promotion. No, it would be called The Humans Who Broke Me. Yeah. I don't know. Cats, bees, and Dean. There you go. It would be called For Love. How about that? I would keep riffing on this forever, but I see that people are already leaving. So I bid you adieu. Thank you so much. Thank you.